Hey, good morning. It's Father George Corrigan here at St. Francis of Assisi in Triangle, Virginia, with a few thoughts on the gospel reading for, actually all the readings, for the 30th Sunday in Ordinary Time. I think I was at I know it's at the Naval Academy as a midshipman. One of the things you always study there is Alfred Thayer Mahan's History of Sea Power, which is all about the geopolitical projection of power. I think that was the first time I ever kind of heard that term, the projection of power. And it's certainly something. I mean, think about World War II. The United States was able to project its power 7,000 miles across the Pacific in order to ultimately achieve victory. Even as we speak now, there are two carrier strike groups that are in the Eastern Mediterranean as a projection of power, hopefully to avoid any expansion of the current hostilities, especially from Hezbollah. But that's all kind of high, lofty geopolitical stuff. What about you and me? And I would just simply tell you, that's exactly what the gospel is talking about. The two greatest commands, love God and love your neighbor, that is God telling us, Christ telling us that's the power that we are to project into the world. And at every moment, small moments and large, we have choices. We have choices of which power we project. I mean, think about you walking down a hallway, and you sit at the end of the hallway, and there's no avoiding. There is someone who has totally annoyed you, disrespected you. Fill in the blank. You are upset with them. Bordering on who knows what your emotions welling up, and then there's that little possibility of evil lurking in your ear that says, give them the cold shoulder, ignore them, move by. And there's the other shoulder that says, well, okay, I guess you're supposed to love your neighbor, even though I'm just really annoyed with him. At least, say hello and sort of at least give the indication I'm willing to sort of chat, and we'll work out the details later. Those are the choices you have. You can project the power of love into the world, or you can project the power of evil into the world. And do not underplay that. People say, oh, Father, is that evil real? Well, Scripture certainly says so. I mean, from Genesis chapter 4, when Cain's thinking about doing what he's going to do to Abel, the Lord comes to him and says, no, look, evil is seeking to conquer you, but you can resist. You can resist. We have that power to resist, but Cain doesn't, and the rest of the story goes on. In the letter of the Romans, St. Paul he personifies evil. And look at the language that he uses from chapters 4 to 8. Evil reigns over us. Sin controls us, dominates us. And those are the things we're not supposed to project into the world. In the very first reading, as Moses is explaining the Ten Commandments, that's what he's telling the people. Don't project that power of evil into the world. Do not, dominate, overbear. Do not, make the life of the widows, the orphans, and the aliens any harder than it already is. Project that power of love. It's that choice. And those are the two powers in the world. You can either open the portal of evil in the world, and as St. Peter says, evil's there waiting to devour you. I mean, are you devoured? No, but it's probably taken a bite out of all of us at one time or another. You can open that portal, or you can open the portal of God's love into the world. As Paul says in Romans chapter 5, verse 5, the love of God has been poured into our hearts. Poured into our hearts. All we have to do is pour it into the world and open that portal that will change the world. As Paul tells the Thessalonians, and the word of the Lord has gone forth from you, projected from you. And that's what we're asked to do, to project that power of love of God into the world in all the small moments of our lives. The small moments, a million moments, till it becomes this tidal wave of power sweeping the world because we love God and love our neighbors. And that's a Sunday thought or two for this 30th Sunday in Ordinary Time. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.